Good evening. If you clicked on this video, I'm sure you want to know whether or not you should get Ernest Shackleton's Endurance. And hopefully by the end of the video, I can help you find an answer to that. Basically, I'm just going to give a quick review of this book. It's the first non-self-help book, technically, that I've ever read, even though you do have a lot of gain from this book. I enjoyed it very much. I finished it in about 2 to 3 weeks. It's not that big a read. As you can see here, this is the front. For whatever reason, the hard copy on Amazon is very expensive, so I bought a used version. I don't know if that's because it's collectible or whatnot, but the hardcover is expensive. Just an FYI for anyone who's going into buying this book. But this is an incredible story. It took place in the early 1900s. A man named Ernest Shackleton, who just had this drive for adventure and to want to do something crazy. All the ordinary aspects of life never satisfied him. He always wanted to do something big and crazy, so he wanted to cross the Antarctic continent. Obviously, it fails. And what they ended up doing, I think something that's crazy about this book is what they actually ended up doing to survive was way more incredible and powerful than what they set out to do. So if they had actually successfully completed their journey across Antarctica, it wouldn't have been as impressive as what they actually ended up doing. Now, for them, they probably wouldn't have cared because they suffered a lot. It was an awful, awful journey. I mean, the grueling days and hours and seconds they went through for 2 whole years is absolutely crazy. It is a powerful story. It's a powerful story that shows you just how strong the human mind is, the will to survive, the will to endure, endurance in general, just how strong it is and how capable human beings are. These guys, I believe it was 22 of them. The fact that none of them died is credit to each and every one of them for being able to endure so much and being able to push so much. But it's also huge credit to Ernest Shackleton because he led this expedition. And although he was kind of, he had a big ego and he did crazy things, when he did get stuck in this situation, when he did realize the trip failed, he took it upon himself to make sure that everybody survived. And it is, on top of a crazy survival story, it is a huge, awesome example of leadership. It's one of the greatest, stories of leadership out there. Someone told me that generals and armies in the military used to have to read this story just to take from Ernest Shackleton's example, the example he set out for other people. Just because the way he led is, to credit him, the way his leadership skills and the way he went about leading these 21 other men is a huge reason as to how they survived. And it's very admirable what he did and how he did it. And just admirable to each of the individuals too for being able to push through such harsh conditions, such freezing, cold, wet conditions for so long and survive. At one point they're in a 22-foot boat crossing the Drake Passage. And if you don't know what the Drake Passage, look it up. The Drake Passage is still incredibly hard to cross today in our giant metal ships. And they did it on a 22-foot boat made from scrap wood. It's absolutely unbelievable and absolutely crazy. It's so inspiring to know that human beings are capable of doing stuff like this. And this story overall, and the writer, got to give credit to, I forgot what his name is, Lansing, Alfred Lansing. The way he writes this story, the amount of research he did is incredible. He spent, I think it was years, interviewing everybody, getting all the notebooks and journals, and just scraping together every detail he possibly could to write this story in the greatest way possible. The way he writes it like it's almost fiction because he's writing it like he's sitting there with them the entire time. The small details, everything that's happening and going on, you feel like there's no way this is real because it's been being written like a fiction story where you're constantly just there next to the people. But he did so much research and evidence, and got so much evidence. I don't know why I said evidence. But he did so much research and got so much information that he was able to write it like he was sitting next to them. So the amount of detail and emotion that you feel throughout this entire book is very high. It's very intriguing and gripping. It doesn't get boring ever. It's just really well-written book and an incredible story. and I highly recommend it. I'm not going to say much more. I don't want this to be a summary of the book. I just wanted this to be like a review. And should you buy it? Yes or no? Yes, you should read this story because it's incredible. And I enjoyed it very, very, very much. Once again, this is the cover for the hardcover at least. Got that. You open it up. And then in the middle, I don't know if this is only in the hard copy, but they have actual pictures because there's a photographer in the crew. So they have actual pictures and descriptions of the pictures and stuff, so you can kind of get an idea as to what everything looked like, what the guys, what some of the guys looked like, and whatnot. But yeah, truly incredible. I cannot recommend it enough. I hope I was able to help you make a decision, or just give you the information you needed about this book. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. Go read it.